What's good, everyone? Giant Opinions. Part 2 is here. I told you it was coming, and I have 5 more players that will get traded at the trade deadline, and I'm going to tell you guys which team is the best fit for each of these players. So let's start it off with a bang in Willson Contreras, catcher from the Cubs. He is having an outstanding season. He's always been very good defensively, but a above-average hitter. He's a very good hitter, borderline elite hitter this season. He's phenomenal. He's a 274 batting average with a 392 on-base percentage. That's over 100 points higher than his batting average, with an 890 OPS, 71 hits on the year, 13 home runs, 35 RBIs. Go to Baseball Savant. You can check his numbers out there. They're very well, too. Still great defensively. And he is a free agent after the season, which makes him available, and the Cubs are a little bit cheap. They haven't shown that they're going to pay him, so he's available on the market. And what makes Willson Contreras more unique is that he's a catcher. So there are a lot of teams that will be interested because it's not only contenders. He could go to a rebuilding team on the come up that needs a catcher. They could make the move and go trade him and then just extend him right away. And it wouldn't be a bad move at all. But I'd say my favorite fit for Willson Contreras is probably the Houston Astros. I think they already have a World Series caliber team. But catcher is that one position where they don't really have it quite yet. I know they called up Corey Lee a top catching prospect, and he looks okay, but Martin Maldonado is getting the majority of the starts, and while he's great defensively, his bat is putrid. He bats like sub 170. It's terrible. Why not upgrade with Willson Contreras, he would feed off of that shorter left field at Minute Maid Park. He could hit so many home runs there. I think it would be very fun to watch, and he's great defensively too. I understand Martin Maldonado is like probably one of the better defensive catchers in the league, but it's not like there's a major drop-off from Willson Contreras. And the spark that he'd give that Astros offense even more, Yordan Alvarez, Bregman, Altuve, Kyle Tucker, Willson Contreras, Jeremy Pena. I mean, that lineup could be freaking filthy. That is my favorite destination. But some teams that also I have interested are the Mets. Looks like James McCann is not the answer. The Mets have serious ambitions this year too. Why not get your franchise catcher? Because Contreras would be that guy. I also have the Marlins. The Marlins have the farm system to go give up the pieces to go get Contreras. And I know they're not necessarily in the hunt. They are like 4 games back from the wild card spot. So I will say that. But they have all these young prospects and players. Get an established guy. Jacob Stallings is catcher right now. Upgrade. If you have the chance, upgrade. Catcher is such a premium position. Contreras is on the block. If you are the Marlins GM, make a move. I'd like it to. Giants are also an option, but I don't know how realistic. But anyways, the second player on this list is going to be David Peralta from the Diamondbacks. That's why I'm wearing this shirt, one of my favorite players in the league. But he is a free agent after this season. He's been a lifelong Diamondback, and he's always sort of been rumored in trade talks. But I think this is actually the season where he does end up getting dealt, because the Diamondbacks aren't necessarily in a spot where they're fighting for a playoff spot. And you might as well get something back for him instead of nothing. I don't see them re-signing him given the prospects that they have coming up that will eventually replace him in the outfield. On the year, he's a 245 batting average with a 772 OPS, 11 home runs, and 36 RBIs. And my favorite team by far to trade for him is the New York Yankees. He would, I mean, with that short right field porch, he would literally be a Yankee Stadium merchant. But Joey Gallo's had his struggles. I know he's kind of taking some more walks, being a little bit better, but you can't bank on Gallo. I think especially in the playoffs, you can't. And Aaron Hicks can be upgraded for him. Judge is basically taking over center field, so that leaves the corners kind of open and interchangeable. Get David Peralta, a veteran, a left-handed hitter who has a lot of experience, and I think he could be that guy that could come in with some really clutch home runs, sort of similar to Matt Carpenter. I think he'd really be good for that Yankees team and improve their offense even more because they are shooting for the stars. You still make a move for a guy, and I think David Peralta could be that guy. You won't have to give up a lot to go get him, and he'd make your team better. So the Yankees are my favorite fit. The Guardians are also here too. They're on the brisk of they are rebuilding, but they're exceeding expectations. So I like them on here just because if you make the move, it sends good messages to the clubhouse. It shows that, hey, we see the results that you're putting out there. We're going to go reward it and at least give the team a better shot of competing. Guardians could make a wild card. We don't know. I think it's a very well possibility. The Phillies are also an option too. Mickey Moniak is getting starts. That's not good. We don't know how long Bryce Harper's going to be out for. It's just a little confusing out in Philadelphia because Schwarber can't really play center field. Castellanos should not play center field, and David Peralta hasn't played center in a long time. but he would help that offense, and the Phillies are kind of in ride or die mode. They have to make the playoffs this season, or I think a few changes will be made, and they'll lose some key pieces. And also have the Cardinals, too. Corey Dickerson is getting time in the outfield. Lars Nootbaar is getting time in the outfield. The Cardinals are a sleeper team to make it all the way this year. David Peralta would be a starter in the outfield right now. He would, because Bader's on the IL, but it doesn't matter. You have to make up. You have to fill in. And even when Bader gets back, I think he'd still get a spot in the outfield and get the nod over Dickerson. So, anyways. Third player is Luis Castillo from the Cincinnati Reds. He had a very bad season last year, but he's really bounced back. And he's thrown pretty well in the smaller sample size he's pitched, because he was out for a little bit. But in 71 innings pitched, he has 74 strikeouts. He's only allowed 55 hits and has a 1.09 whip and a 2.92 ERA. Very good season. He's always had the filthy stuff, and he's always been a good pitcher. But last season, there was just a noticeable decline. But he started picking it back up. This is the Luis Castillo we all know. He looks calm. He looks in rhythm this season, too, which is really something. He wasn't in rhythm last season, but the Reds are looking to sell. They're not competing. We know they're going to be sellers at the deadline, including Drury, who I talked about in the last video. But Castillo is an interesting player because he's a free agent after the 2023 season. So a team that trades for him will get 2 years of guaranteed control over him. He has arbitration next season, too, so you won't be paying necessarily a premium to go get a guy who has high two-starter stuff. Like, he's never going to be a true ace, but I think he'll be a high number 2 starter in the league. So Luis Castillo is a very good option for a lot of teams, and the extra year of control adds a lot of value to him. So you will have to give up more prospects for Luis Castillo. He'll probably command sort of similar to a Wilson Contreras type deal, where you're going to have to give up a pretty good prospect or multiple ones. So the teams I have interested, I like the Boston Red Sox a lot. I think this is a fit that is really, I feel like it's a match made in heaven, right? I know the Sox have a lot of pitchers, but they're all hurt. And even when Chris Sale is going to come back soon, even when Eovaldi is going to come back soon, you still want to have a disgusting rotation. You're getting a chance to trade for a guy with wicked stuff, who can be a high 2 starter in the league, who has 2 years of control left. So next year, when you're playing the Yankees and nailing it out with them, and the Blue Jays, who are going to get better next season and rebound, and the Orioles on the come-up, you have to have quality starting pitching, especially inside of that AL East division. Luis Castillo is very well that guy. I think he is the stuff. I think the Red Sox are in a position to go get him. And yeah, they're very decimated right now. They need some help because their offense is playing really well, but the pitching is just holding them back. I think they really could make a nice playoff run this year again. So I like Castillo to the Red Sox. The Dodgers are also another option. Andrew Friedman has shown in the past he's not afraid to improve the team at any means possible. I think they could definitely upgrade for Mitch White, and I like Tyler Anderson, but Walker Buehler's out for the year. Kershaw may not be the workhorse he is anymore, and the Dodgers, man, they're always looking to win. Friedman will make the move. He will make the move. I like the Twins as a sleeper, too. I think they're a very intriguing option just because they are in first place right now. But how legitimate are they? We don't know. But I like Castillo here because he's not just a rental. So I could definitely see the Twins kind of making a trade. I feel like he kind of be a Jose Barrios replacement, but I think I'd like him a lot more better than Barrios. And I also have the Mets, too. I know sort of the same thing with the Dodgers. The Mets are looking to upgrade. They don't really have that 5-starter yet, although when DeGrom comes back, I think the rotation will be still wicked. If they added Luis Castillo, it's undeniable. The Mets have the best rotation in baseball. The Mets are I don't want to say they're a long shot, but they're probably my least favorite fit, but I could still see it happening too. Cohen wants to win. Mets fans want to win. And I think it's Trevor Williams right now who's pitching every 5 days. He could be upgraded from too. So that brings us to the fourth player, David Robertson from the Chicago Cubs. Having a stellar year out in Chicago as the closer right there. In 34-1 innings pitched, he has only given up 18 hits with 45 strikeouts and 12 saves and a 2.10 ERA. He's having a disgusting season on a pretty disgustingly bad Cubs team. They're going to look to move him, and the bullpen is always going to be a hot commodity when it comes to the trade deadline. Teams need bullpen help all the time. And the number one team I probably have trading for him is the Philadelphia Phillies. Always always is the bullpen with the Phillies. That's their number one issue. And I know he played for them in 2019 and it didn't work out, but sometimes you have to be willing to, hey, we got to give him a second chance. And he's shown this season, he's thrown disgusting stuff. He is that guy this season. The Phillies, I know their bullpen's kind of toned it down from their meltdowns as of late, but I still ain't trusting them. And I think Dave Dombrowski will be looking to make a move at acquiring another relief pitcher. I also like the Cardinals, too. I know they have some solid arms like Gallegos out in the bullpen, but the Cardinals, man, I really think they could make a push, but they got to add a few more pieces to really get there. Why not get one of the better relief pitchers this season at probably not too expensive of a cost? He's 37 years old. I'm pretty sure he's on a 1-year deal too. You're going to have to give up someone, but you're not going to have to give up a top 100 prospect, a top 5 player in your farm system. No, maybe just one player that's top 10 farm system, whatever. The Cardinals have a real shot of winning serious things this year. You make the move. I also like the Minnesota Twins. The Twins have a lot of bullpen issues. And if they do decide to buy at the deadline, Robertson's not bad because he's a rental. You won't have to give up too much. And also sends a good message to the clubhouse saying, hey, we see you're overachieving. We're going to reward it. We're going to make the team better. Let's go make that push. You never know. The Twins are playing some hot baseball right now, so I like that a lot. And I think that's the last team I had. Oh, the Braves. The Braves, too. They want to repeat. 1 game back of the Mets. They have Will Smith and Kenley Jansen, both great relief pitchers. They could still go for some upgrades. Jesse Chavez has been pitching a little bit better, but still, I'd like to see more from that bullpen. And I think they're also 3rd in blown saves in the MLB, so they need I think they could use another arm in the bullpen. And the last guy on this list is Martin Perez from the Texas Rangers. And before I made this video, he had a 2.34 ERA. Twins got to him today. He now is at 2.73 ERA, I think. It's somewhere around there. But anyways, I'm going to throw the stats before today's start. 100 innings pitched, 81 strikeouts, ERA plus 165 on a 1-year deal with the Rangers. They're going to look to move him at the deadline. I'm almost positive of it for sure. He's been very good this season, and I know he had the bad game today, but he's still a quality guy. I think he could fit in as a nice number 3 pitcher. You definitely don't want to trade for him expecting him to be the ace, but I think he's a good 3, borderline 2 starter, especially for some teams looking to upgrade the starting rotation. I think my favorite fit is probably the Toronto Blue Jays. Kikuchi is on the IL. He struggled with control this season. Kevin Gausman's out for a little bit. He's hurt. He's dealing with something. I know Ross Stripling's getting innings, but you can still upgrade from him. The Blue Jays, they're really letting down right now. Barrios is not playing well. So you got to go add another pitcher. You got to help your team's odds of making noise and even getting to the playoffs this year. If the Blue Jays miss the playoffs, that's just so disappointing for this ball club that had such high expectations. So I like Perez to the Jays. They don't have to give up a ton to go get him because he is on a 1-year deal, but they will have to give up someone. So the Rangers will be willing to make a trade with them. I also like the Red Sox too. They have a lot of pitchers on the injured list, and in comparison to Castillo, where Castillo will be on the team next year, Perez will not necessarily be. So Perez is more of a kind of a duct tape trade, but I feel like that's disrespectful to Martin Perez because he actually is having overall a pretty good season. So he's definitely more than just a duct tape pitcher, but he would definitely help this Red Sox rotation, and he can also eat up innings too. That's the thing. Martin Perez he's able to throw 100+ pitches, go almost 6 innings in most of his starts. So I like that because the Red Sox bullpen is drained because they are just throwing out AAA pitchers that are getting shelled. So Perez could step in there nicely. I also like the Twins too. Their rotation is interesting with Joe Ryan and Sonny Gray, but other than that, kind of dips off. Smeltzer got rocked today. I like Martin Perez. Low risk. I mean, that's really all I have to say for the Twins. It's a move that would make their team better. It would increase their postseason odds. By how much? I don't know. Will they have to give up a ton to go get him to where it's a bad move? No. That's why I like it. So those are the 5 other players that I think will get traded at the MLB trade deadline. This is a longer video, but let me know what you all thought about this. I'd love to hear your thoughts on any of these players. Who do you think will go where from these players? And if you have some more suggestions in the comments, let me know. Part 3 will be coming out and probably part 4. So, yeah, let me know what you guys think, and I will see you on the next one. Peace.